Commissioner Chen.
I appreciate the hard work and thoughtful consideration that the Commission's put into this Phase 1. I recognize I've been late to the party, working with you only since this past February. I have several concerns about the proposed charter amendments, but I'll mention just two. First, multi-member districts with ranked choice voting. There's a lot of risk here with protecting incumbents, with potential extreme candidates, with diluting accountability, with voter confusion, a lot of which was actually quite specific. We discussed all that in 2 meetings and spent a huge part of that time on 2 issues. We have to get the charter recommendation right. We are making decisions that could persist for generations. We need more time to consider feedback, to refine proposed language, to think about related laws and practices, and even unexpected consequences. Thus, my vote on advancing the proposed amendments at this point is no.
Thank you. Commissioner Knowles.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to thank Melanie. I'm pleased to find out I'm not the oldest person on the commission, so that's good news for me. Allison, I want to thank you in particular. You've done a great job. I've worked with your firm for many, many years, and excellent work as always. I want to say a couple of things because I am going to be voting no on the recommendation. I was appointed, as you know, late in the deliberations of the commission. I didn't have the advantage of being able to participate in a lot of the discussions you had, but I have the unique opportunity to review this piece of work as it stands, much as the voters are going to look at this in November. And in doing that, I've concluded that the commission's objectives, which you established for yourselves at the beginning of the process, have not been achieved. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the reasons for my recommendation. Let me just summarize a couple of things. One, I really believe voters are looking for better government, not more government. And can more government be better government? Maybe. But I'm not persuaded that multi-member districts, a council size of 12, and the new voting method that would be used in multi-member districts is going to accomplish that objective. Second, the mayor has not been given the authority. I think that person needs to be successful. In my view, either the mayor should sit on the council or be given veto authority. And third, and I've mentioned this before, the election method for multi-member districts I think is flawed. I've been very concerned that it won't achieve the objective of diversity and increased representation. I think it's going to dilute accountability. Am I wrong about all of this? Yeah, maybe I am. But on the other hand, I could very well be right. And the problem is there's no data to show that I'm right or wrong because this has never been done in the US before. It's an experiment, and I am very concerned that at this point in our city's history, we shouldn't replace a form of government unique in the country with a form of government that is unproven. So I just think it's a mistake. The last thing I want to mention is I wish the commission, and I wish I had had an opportunity to participate in this, could have said at the beginning of this process, we're really going to work hard to get a consensus recommendation in front of the voters. And I don't mean a consensus of the commission because you are achieving that, we are achieving that, if the vote goes as I think it will. I mean a consensus of city voters. It's a high bar to try to get to 60 or 75%, something like that. But I am really worried that based on the public testimony that we heard in May, there will be significant opposition. And whatever happens, my guess is that it's going to pass or fail by a few percentage points within 50%. Either one of those outcomes is a lose-lose situation because we will continue to have deep divisions about the way in which we ought to govern our city. So I wish we had been able to work more towards a consensus recommendation. Last thing I want to say is I really appreciate the work that Julie and the staff have done, and I deeply appreciate her counsel to me as I've gone through the evaluation of these proposals. I have a lot of respect for all of you. I think your passion and commitment is really admirable, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you in phase 2. Thanks for your time. And by the way, Allison, I want to let you know I'm going to drop off at the break because it's quite early in the morning, my time. Thanks.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you. Roughly 18 months ago, this Charter Commission was formed to help improve the democratic process here in Portland. I want to acknowledge and thank the current and past commissioners who lent considerable time to this process. It's been an honor and a pleasure working with each one of you. But even more than that, I want to thank the many hundreds of individuals that have provided input in various forums over the ensuing months about the dysfunctions they've observed in our city government and the possible ways to improve those dysfunctions. The foundation of democracy is not 20 people on a commission or even 5 people on city council dictating how the city should govern. Democracy is about people's voices being heard and their needs being met. Over the past year, people voiced their concerns that the commission form of government was not working for a modern city like Portland, that our bureaus were not working together, that it took too long to get even simple things done, that priorities changed with every commissioner in charge, and that we needed professionals to manage these large organizations. People voiced their concerns that city council did not represent them, that elected representatives were not responsive to people's needs, and that individual city council members were not accountable, and that people didn't know whom specifically to call for assistance. People voiced their concerns that we had a government of 5 mayors where everyone in city council had equal authority, and consequently the person with the actual title of mayor had little authority to act in a time of crisis. People voiced their concerns that city council was too slow to act, and with alarming frequency, we heard that people didn't feel heard, that input on the budget, on crime, on homelessness was not reflected by their elected officials. In my view, the current recommendations by the Charter Commission address only some of these needs. The recommendation for city manager is warranted and needed. Both the public and city bureaucrats noted that this would be a change for the better. Yet the proposal does not solve the need for better representation. The combination of multi-member districts with ranked choice voting has never been tested in the United States. The proposed solutions to electing 4 city commissioners for city council is instead to elect 3 city council people from each district. The problem of who's in charge and who do you call is still there. The problem of the mayor not having the authority to act. The current proposal only allows the mayor a tie-breaking vote and no check or balance over city council. To the problem of city council having difficulty acting swiftly in a time of crisis, the current recommendation proposes tripling the size of council, creating 4 new districts with the unique interests imposed by that, and re-electing all 12 city council members 2 years from now. This is a recipe for inaction, as possibly 12 city council people will take office, hire staff, learn their jobs and responsibilities, all while Portland recovers from numerous crises currently affecting all of us. But those are just my personal concerns. It's the voices and opinions of Portlanders that matter. To that end, we have received feedback from a large and perhaps overwhelming group of individuals who voiced their concerns about various aspects of the current recommendation on the form of elections. Those concerns did not result in changes to that recommendation. Yet, when it comes to the November vote, their voices and opinions should be heard. I propose that we have at least 2 separate ballot measures, one to change the commission form of government and one to change how we elect our representatives. This allows people to have a meaningful choice and vote, as well as making it easier for the proposed ballot measures to survive any legal challenge. Instead, we have a proposal for one ballot measure which limits people's ability to choose what their government will look like. That does not ensure that people's voices are heard. That does not improve our democratic process. Accordingly, I must vote against the recommendation as it currently stands.
Thank you,